Hello guys and welcome to the first of hopefully many UK CSGO weekly tournaments. Still not sure on that name. I should probably find out at some point. First map is going to be Aftershock versus Function on Inferno. Any thoughts on that, Viper?
Inferno's quite a weird map because a lot of the active duty maps are actually based on a cloverleaf design. But Inferno's the one that isn't, along with Cobblestone and Overpass. Yeah, but I believe that Aftershock actually won the knife. So, I think...
Guessing that's going to be a switch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a switch.
I mean, unless they want to warm up a little bit on... Nope. Just straight in for that switch.
Yep.
Sort of an obvious one to call, just...
Yeah.
Inferno, probably the most, or one of the most at least, CT-sided maps in actual active rotation.
Yeah. Like, what you see some teams doing is they'll throw a deep smoke from CT that blocks off the bottom of Banana so that the CTs can actually push up. And then once they get a bit of a read, they'll fall back and then re-smoke further up Banana, just for the rotations. We're going to be going into it in 5 seconds. So, I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good one to start off with.
It's interesting to see what gets brought up at the beginning of the round.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my screen not showing me any of it.
Nope. But, I think... We've got 2 raid bosses on Zacti and Connor. So it looks as though it's just going to be a full-on B rush.
Probably one of the easiest strats to execute, especially on pistol round, but it looks like Function are actually ready for this eventuality. 3 players up there. I know it's sort of something that's likely to happen. It's going to have people up there initially. Rotate off though, as... Well, I mean, at this point, if they've not rushed, they sort of should be expecting it. Well, they should be expecting it to go somewhere else.
I think the servers have messed up again.
Oh yeah, 60 minutes. I didn't even notice. Yeah, well, that'd be an interesting way to play.
Yeah.
Again,
now everyone's just running about.
I'm not gonna blame the servers, mate. I'm gonna blame the config we're using.
Yep, let's blame the config. No, we haven't actually had any problems with Christmas servers.
Not so far.
No. Even with my Welsh internet, I had any problems.
I'm a bit dubious to say as of yet because I don't wanna curse anything.
No.
I'm not feeling like saying we've had no problems with them ever. 100 choke on everyone.
Everyone's like, oh, come on. We're choking harder than Astralis right now.
Don't have to be harsh to the things.
I'm sorry.
Leave it out, mate. I'm wearing my TSM hoodie at the moment from actually.
I'm sorry.
From when they were actually decent, but
yeah. Now they've got Semphis. And I'm trying to think of the players now. They've got Semphis, Thick, Adren's trying out for them. Because
I don't think it matters. You're never gonna see him in anything big, are you?
No. But like
maybe the odd NA tournament here and there.
Yeah, you'll see them in stuff like the iBuyPower Invitational and all those unimportant ones.
My favourite thing to watch.
Yeah.
Apparently we're going to be going to a short break while we get this resolved.
Watch it burn, I said the world ablaze, things that escape. needs a pause. What is a show without applause? On every eye there was a tear, but hope arises after fear. On every lip there was a light. Every hello means a goodbye, bye, 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 bye. Every skin there can be scars, but every sky is filled with stars. So be courageous, fight for love. Believe that there's another place for us. To not look back, take heart and have faith. Not every bird lives in a cage. Hey, so be courageous, fight for love. Believe that there's a God above. 'Cause you and I, we are made to run. Set a fire, shine brighter than shadows. Every rhythm needs a pause. What is a show without applause? On every eye there was a tear, but hope arises after fear. In every winter sleeps the spring. In every summer falls the rain. In every touch there can be pain. Winning and losing is the game. So be courageous, fight for love. Believe that there's another place for us. To not look back, take heart and have faith. Not every bird lives in a cage. Hey, so be courageous, fight for love. Believe that there's a God above.
And welcome back. Hopefully this is sorted now. Gonna have to wait for freeze time and before we can see it, but I think we've got other stuff working because we can now see weapons on the side of screens. X-rays sorted. Hopefully this will all go smoothly from now on.
Hopefully.
Only hope. We can only ever hope.
Yep, and we'll see the raid boss on Connor and Zakti. Nades on Tech9. 2 flashes on Vancarino. Defuse on Vancarino, and then 3 sets of armors.
And it actually looks like the restart of the round has caused the T's to adapt their setup a little bit. Instead of seeing all of them go banana this time, we are seeing a much heavier presence towards that A site with 3 people deciding to push mid. Just keeping a bit of a watch out elsewhere. But apart from that, looking like they are indeed setting up for an A execute.
Yeah, and I think it's Zakti's actually into apartments and is taking a bit of a fight with Temper. Or I believe that's Zoe.
Well, so far all things even, but Temper manages to fall to Zakti. As you were saying, loses the CTs their advantage, and it looks like it's just going to be downhill from here. Thor taking 2 to cement that, leaving just Hunt with his USPS to see if he can get anything done.
Yeah. They're just gonna stay back, let the Glocks just take their short range advantage, and now they're just gonna try and hunt him down, and then that's gonna be the pistol going the way of as Hunt goes down.
The problem they ran into there is by the time it got to the retake, they had 2 raid bosses to deal with.
Yeah.
Along with 2 Glock players, only 3 people to take it, and losing the first 2 as quickly as they did, not really ideal.
No, it's never ideal to lose the first person. But for the T's, if they can trade effectively, then it's always going to be their advantage. Been a little bit of a default coming out. But YTF has pushed into us. Looks like they're in a straight line right now. Very coordinated.
Problem for me is the CTs haven't bought really anything at all. I mean, there's a few P250s out, a flash and a kit, but no armor to speak of. With these SMGs, with the 2 MAC-10s actually, they should just be shredded as soon as they run into anybody from function.
Yeah.
I mean, even the scout, that's going to be an AWP now.
Yeah, it is. So...
But, I mean, their choice to try and save money, I think they're going to get a buy in the same round, but they will have a lot more utility to work with when that happens, and I sort of understand where they're coming from on this one. Inferno is one of those maps where you do need to keep your economy in check as a CT, because it is so easy to let it get out of hand, and Function are going to be doing everything in their power to ensure that that goes through.
Tech9 gets the first kill, as Hunt gets the second onto Connor.
Honestly, it looks like Function are a little bit stumped right now. They know there's 2 there, but they can't seem to figure out how to deal with them. And it's just going to continue going downhill. Hunt picking up 2 beautiful kills to complement the one he already had. And unfortunately, Function now only have 1 man left alive, and it's YTF with the UMP. Honestly, I don't think he can do much here.
Gets taken down by Temper. And I think it was just that Function just stayed back a bit too much. Like, they let the P250s rain over them when they had MAC-10s, which are great for just jumping around corners.
Well, that and no
kills.
No real utility to speak of, because quite easily they could have flashed into the site, put a couple of smokes down, block people off, and a lot of people do neglect to do that on anti-ecos because they feel like, oh, we've got we've got SMGs, they've got P250s or 5.7s or whatever. We should be able to shred them, but if you don't put those smokes down, if you don't use any sort of utility whatsoever, you are just going to get, as long as the aim's permitting, absolutely destroyed.
And it looks as though Function are just going to be going for a straight A push.
And a force-off, actually. I think...
Yeah, that's a weird buy.
Just about all money spent. YTF actually retaining a little bit more than the rest. I'm assuming he's saving to buy an AWP.
Probably, yeah.
But apart from that, they are going to be very heavily invested in this round indeed. And they're going to need to get something done. That is not the start they wanted.
No.
And finds
You
YTF.
can actually see that Connor's pushed rather far into apps. As Zacti gets 1 kill. Myers gets the other, but I don't think they know that Van Marino is in pit. He gets 1. As Tech9 gets the second. As they don't beat him.
This is the problem though, you were talking about it earlier, as long as the T's can trade effectively, they're golden, and Function are doing just that. They did it piss around, they did it this round again. As soon as they lose 1 player, even if they lose 2 players, they manage to get the frags back, they manage to end it somehow in their advantage.
Yeah.
And Aftershock just have no answer.
No. And...
I mean, honestly, unless we see a repeat of the second round now, I'm not really seeing them have an answer to this either, because we are going to have essentially what is a full buy coming out of Function, just AKs and an M4 versus pistols with 3 sets of armor, so expecting Function to take this one easily, and then the real fight's going to be round 5.
Very nice shot from Myers. I think Temper's going to be saving for the AWP. He's on 4,200. And with the round loss bonus, if they lose, going to be on 6,100, which is enough for an AWP, head armor, and a flash or a smoke. As we're going to see, he's just doing normal CT smoke and a flash over. Now they're going to be in, but counter flash is coming up very well.
The problem is counter flash is normally used for delaying, and there's really nothing to stop Function from just taking over the site here. Tech9 will find 1, but with just a deagle. Oh, actually with an M4 he might be able to get something done, as he is one of the players with armor, so interesting to see this one panned out, but the smoke is down. Bomb will be down also. And unfortunately it looks like Aftershock are just going to be shut out the round a little bit at this point.
Yeah. But Tech9 gets 1. But it's a little bit of a triangle to do, unfortunately.
I mean, the thing is, it's smart at this point for the CTs to go for it. They know they have all the money they need next round. And if you can take some AKs out of Function's hands, you're at least going to keep their economy low. So, I don't know, if I was them, I would have just been focusing on taking the fight. Tech9 didn't do that, ended up dying while he was running the other way. And Vancarino not going to find anything either. So, 2 weapons lost for Function. Definitely not bad for a team with as little as Aftershock had, but honestly, I think I could have seen them do more there.
Yeah. And now we'll see Temper on the AWP with just a smoke. And full nades on the Function side, but pretty good nades on Aftershock. You've got 2 incendiaries. 3 incendiaries, sorry. 5 smokes and 5 flashbangs.
Not enough to hold anyone off for a little while.
Yeah. What you'll see some teams doing is they'll do mistake entry. They'll try and bait out some grenades, CTs, with like a flash or 1 smoke, or both, and then they'll just sit back a bit, and then after a while, after the smokes fade, they'll come rushing in with smokes, flashes, everything, and then it's just angels from then on.
At this point, I think Function are more they're looking more like they just want to find some picks because they are everywhere.
Yeah, just a little bit of the default coming out.
Just looking to see if they can tease any sort of open out of Aftershock, who, I mean, realistically, at this point, sort of need to win this round. They want to get themselves back on track. They took the second, but couldn't string anything together, and this is going to be an important one. Unfortunately, Doogie goes down, and as Vancarino does get the trade, it's still not going to be looking too good. Especially as he is now trapped in with all of Functions, coming to see if they can find a piece of him. Still going to manage to find one. Looking to see if he can stop the bomb planter. Unfortunately, won't be able to. And at this point, it's actually looking fairly even as far as I can see, especially as Temper hits that shot, actually, because now the CTs have the HP advantage, and Techno going to make sure that's the man advantage as well. Just Connor to deal with and the bomb to get defused.
Yeah. But they don't know where he is. But Temper's got the AWP, and he gets...
I think he spotted a leg there. I think he just spotted a little bit of a leg there,
Yeah.
Found the shot, shot him down, and Function in a worse state than I thought they'd be in after 1 round loss. You can see 3 people still with the definite ability to buy, but Connor and Exacti gonna have to deal with, actually all of them just gonna decide to deal with pistols, buy up as a team next round. See what they can do from there.
Yeah, smart strategy. Just go, the Tech 9s are very, very powerful, especially near A site where it's quite cramped together.
I mean, I said pistols, I meant SMGs. The Tech 9s are a little bit ridiculous, and actually with the utility they have, this could lead to something.
Yeah. But actually, we see Dougie on the boost. He gets flashed, and so does Temper.
This is sort of genius, the amount of flashes they have, the amount of smokes they have. If they can just section off some people, they would be in great shape. The problem is, nobody pit, they managed to trap themselves. And the CTs know it, they're just watching, waiting. As soon as that smoke fades, they should have the angles set.
Oh, that nade does big damage onto both Connor and Myers, and Zachary goes down to 50 HP in the fire. And now this is just going to be a straight cleanup for Aftershock.
The CTs know that it's actually Function have to make the first move here, and it looks like they're a little bit unwilling to do that because they know that at those ranges Tech 9s are going to be almost useless. Now all on Thor. He's got the armor, he's got the Tech 9. If he can wait it out, get the CTs to maybe shift about a bit, he might be in with a chance, but if he walks directly into Temper's crosshair here, not looking great.
No.
With that, we're going to be on a draw once again. 3-3 both ways. Another buy round. It seems like this might be shaping up to be a bit of a close game from the start, really.
Yeah. Function are actually a bit light on utilities. Got 4 smokes, 1 molly, and 5 flashbangs.
I think at this point it might be a little bit of an idea of buy what you need, set something up before the round starts, because they are, I mean, bar 1 player all over towards that A site. I'm assuming they have some sort of strat regarding it in mind.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, just setting up some smokes.
I think these are the pit smokes.
Same ones they tried last round, and same ones that didn't work for them, but this time not going to be entering through apartments, but rather trying a two-pronged attack. An initial kill is going to be, I mean, all in their favour. 10% if he can find something back. Takes one out, but it's not going to be enough. The bomb is now going down. Can't find anybody else, and he is just going to have to wait for his team to get here now.
Yeah.
Again, Inferno is one of those maps. If you're at a disadvantage on the retake, a lot of the time it is better for you to just sit it out, take those guns through to the next round with you, and do something from that, because it is not easy. Especially when they have a player playing in such...
Yeah.
I mean, in a position so far away from sight, he just not even checking mid, not expecting anyone to be there.
Tech9 kind of checked it, but he didn't expect YTF to actually be on the bench.
Loses
So
life
YTF's
on
actually
these.
hunting. Temper.
I mean, they know it's the AWP, and YTF's gonna find it as well. That's a little bit painful to see for Aftershock.
Yeah. But we'll see. Dougie buying an AWP, dropping that over to Temper. Temper buys him an M4.
They're gonna muster another buy, but it's not looking... I mean, if you just look at the utility on their side, they've only got 2 flashes to work with, so...
Yeah.
I mean, say some smokes come out, say function players slow around, wait for all the CT smokes to expire, and then just throw some smokes and flashes. They have 2 flashes to make sure they can't push a site. And they're both on one player, so it can only be one site at a time.
Yeah. It's on Hunt, who plays towards the B site. You can actually see Vancarino and Dougie have pushed up into A apps. So they're going to get a bit of information from this. But now we'll see the smokes and flashes come out.
Still not...
I think they're trying to bait out some flashes. Because Hunt's already used one of his.
They're gonna see if they can find anything towards B, but I don't think they're at all decided on where they're going right now. They do still have that presence mid. The bomb is still way towards T-spawn. They could literally go anywhere on the map at this point without too much worry, and that's going to be one of the CT smokes down so late in the round. Still a lot held. The CTs, for the little economy they have, they are using it to its very most. I mean, 30 seconds on the clock, and 40 seconds on the clock and a fresh smoke down. Function are now going to have to execute through a smoke if they want to take this B site, and it does look like that's what they're going to do.
Yep. Temper takes YTF, but look behind. Zacti gets a kill on Tech9, fully flash.
Problem is, it's not going to be enough. 2 kills from Hunt, a couple of kills over towards that A site as well, and it is all on Thor. Then if he can get the plant on the smoke, and that should be a given, but a 3 versus 1 retake, I'm not so sure about that. He finds the first, looking for the second, has to pull out the P250, but does take it before Temper finishes him off.
An expensive round for the CTs.
Expensive round for everyone.
Yeah. Thor doing a very good job to get those kills. And Temper can drop 1, but it's going to be for masses. An MP9 on Dougie, as Function actually have enough money to go for another buy. Fortunately, Maris is on that Galil. Couldn't think of the name of it for a second.
I'm not sure if the CTs have underestimated what Function are going to have in their arsenal or what, but Dougie's bought an MP9, yeah, you were saying. That's going to flop. Every single player on Function has armor and head armor.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 AKs. Aftershock must have a really bad read on economy this round.
Yeah.
So far they've seemed pretty conscious of it, but right now Function should be able to find at least one of them with relative ease. The other's a little bit more contentious, as Temper does have his AWP, and we do have rifles on the rest, but by no means a good look for the CTs here.
No, but Dougie's actually playing in bedroom in apps, which is actually a good place for the MP9. If you can get a dink onto someone, and you just keep spraying, then that's going to be someone down.
I don't know, from what I've seen so far, Function learned their lesson from that second round and are trying to use utilities. YTF throws a flash out there, doesn't quite catch Temp, and it will be his life, but I don't think they'd go bedroom without clearing it first. Problem is, they can't clear this first. Smoke still up. Hunt manages to find 2 and himself an AK, but runs past the other players. Doesn't matter at all as Tech9 finds Myrez, and Temper through the smoke will take out Exacti for the round. And this should be an eco from Function, so Aftershock definitely pulling a little bit of a lead here. I think first time they've been in the lead all game, actually.
Yeah.
They should extend it to 6-4 if this round goes the way I think it's expected to at this point.
Yeah, but we've seen what happened on the second round, where Aftershock actually had less to play with. So who knows? And it's going to be a fast A push.
Honestly, it looks like they might be able to catch Dougie off here. Somehow, no, he finds himself 3, and it's actually going to be Vancarino to fall. Manages to find himself 1 before, though, and it is just going to be Exacti playing for that bomb. Takes Dougie out, looking for more, but it won't be his. Still, amazing play there. Absolutely amazing play there with the P250 to find himself 2.
Yeah, and Dougie was just dancing around. I'm trying to think of a name for it. The pillar. Getting kills left, right, and centre. He even got one with his incendiary.
I think that might have saved him a little bit. He was in trouble. 3 Tech9s in your face at that range is not something you're looking for.
Yeah.
However, it is now going to be 6-4, and Function are going to be on another buy. Again, not maybe the strongest possible in terms of utility, but definitely enough to hit up a site quite effectively. If they're alive at the end of it, and Connor G is just going to spot Dougie's shoulder, I think, before he turns the corner, prompts him to take the shots, and he will hit them with ease. No health at all lost off him, and the first kill in the way of Function. If Aftershock can't get something back out of this soon, they're going to be in a bit of a dodgy situation, as it is just going to be 2 on either site right now.
Yeah. But Temper gets the kill onto YTF. So that's going to make sure that Function are pressing onto the site. Bankarina gets 1 as they now push on. And he's going to get swarmed as Thor gets the kill through the box. And now it's actually a 2v2 with the health favouring the CTs as Temper gets a shot onto Exacti trying to get into.
And he's actually going to whiff the flick on the second one. Thor managing to remain alive and Temper down at 19. Now just going to be waiting for his mate to get there. Hunt puts the molly down and will just find the kill with ease. Honestly, I'm going to put that ability to retake with Vancarino there, because his mate died, left him with a lot to do. He managed to find a 2-for-1 trade and leave things at least even going into the retake.
Yeah. I mean, if he hadn't have got that second kill, that would have been Function's round, probably. But we didn't notice they're actually buying up again. So
such is the luxury of T-side on any map in CSGO. They've lost 4 rounds. They didn't have too little money. They can afford to get something out. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be less than they had last round, but it's going to be worth a try at this point, because after this, they are going to have a lot of money to work with every time they lose.
Yeah. Yeah, see, who is that? It's Zacti, actually, just lurking on Banana. And Dougie in his favourite position on the roof.
He's gonna drop just before they. Yeah, it looked like it could go horribly wrong, but he does find the first kill and actually does a lot of damage onto Connor as well. Leaves him on 2 points of health and leaves his teammates with a bit of a task ahead of them. Thor starts things off, finds himself 1. YTF with the second, and honestly, at this point, it's not looking so bad.
No, unfortunately, the bomb's dropped, and now that molly goes out, and that leaves YTF on the wrong side.
That's the thing, they've got sight. They just need to get bombed there, and it looks like that is going to happen, but at this point, health advantage not theirs, man advantage now not theirs. Unless they can pull something magical off here, this should probably go the way of Aftershock, especially with 17 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and Tech9 actually in apps. But the bomb's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, with Konergy on 2 health, I was sort of expecting to see the bomb get dropped for a second time there. Instead, he will find the plant, and Thor's going to take one of the retaking CTs out. Hunt finds the second. Doesn't know where the last man is, but will take Thor out of the equation. I think he's a bit confused.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to know where that bomb is. Does find it eventually, though. And is actually going to give Aftershock their 8th round. Now, 8-4, not bad. Function definitely still in with a chance, though. As we were saying earlier, hugely CT-sided map. If Function want to come back into this, they win 1-2 more rounds, they are good to go for their CT half.
Yeah. If they just win one more round, it's going to be a pretty successful T half.
But at this point, not really too much to worry about, especially as we're going to see them with yet another bye. I think that's, what, 3 losses now where they've had a bye up afterwards.
Yeah. Now you'll actually see that, and that one-way smoke working for Tech9 very well.
I think it's actually slightly misplaced as well, so I'm surprised they didn't manage to find anything through it. Maybe that's GoTV. Tech9 still doing well to find himself exactly, and the CT's knowing exactly what to do. Just fall back into B site, huddle in and hope they don't chase you.
Yeah. There was a little bit of team damage from Dougie onto Vancarino. YTF on the trailer.
I think this has been a strong point of Aftershock for the entire time we've seen them play. They know when not to peek.
Yeah. They've got man advantage. So they don't peek, but Thor actually in CT. Gonna find second onto Tech9. And then the third onto Vancarino.
YTF in the meantime getting burnt a little bit there by a molly, I think. Leaving both remaining Ts very low indeed. And Hunt's still on site, they haven't noticed. Just sitting there, finds Thor, waits for his mate to come round. Dougie does finish off YTF, and it's going to be a 9th round for Aftershock. And actually, for the first time in a while, not much money to work with afterwards.
No, they're just going to save, try and get as many nades as they can. Or are they?
I'm guessing just a bit of a quasi-buy. It depends what they think they can do. Maybe miscommunication instead, because Thor did get himself an AK and some nades. Yeah. Maybe he knows something we don't, and might work out for them. Temper whiffs a shot. Luckily, the smoke's there to save him. He is just going to be able to fall back and watch out for any more approaching Ts. And there's going to be plenty, Viper. There is going to be plenty.
Oh, that grenade onto Connor. Takes him down to 9 HP. That's the bomb down, and that's going to be the round for Aftershock, as Vancarino gets 2 in 1 spray.
Dougie and Vancarino just locking down site completely there.
Yeah.
All 5 kills between the 2 players on short. Realistically, Function didn't stand a chance, and this round they will be wanting to win. 10-5 is sort of the score they want to hit if they, you know, if they want next half to be sort of average, them.
Yeah.
If they stay at 4, it's going to be a problem, and Temper is going to be doing everything in his ability, well, in his powers, to make them stay there. Finds the first kill. Not going to be too much of a loss, as they will still have 4 AKs and a lot of nades to work with, but if that keeps happening, it's going to be a bit more of a problem. Vancarino takes down Myra's. YTF managing to find 1 in return, but it's still only 1. How do I say that? We see a little bit more of a trade come out. The T's still at a heavy disadvantage here, though. 2 versus 3, and Dougie just buying time for his team to get there. Does a great job of it and finds himself a kill in the process. Temper ready to finish things off with the AWP. Aftershock 11. Function GG on 4 rounds as we move into the second half.
Yeah, I think Function can definitely work with this. But if they lose the pistol round, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back into this game.
That's the thing. It's definitely not impossible. 4 rounds, if they win the pistol half, that quickly turns into 7 without any upsets. But
Yeah.
if they manage to lose this, then we're looking at Aftershock being what, 1 away from match point.
Yeah. And you can actually see that Aftershock got 8 rounds in a row. And that's a bit mind-blowing, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, right up until the start of that run, it looked a little bit like Function might be the dominating presence, because they were up by 1 when that started. They'd managed to keep things fairly even so far, and I mean, as a T-side team, if you can do that on Inferno, you're going to be in a good position at the end of the half. Aftershock didn't want to let things like that continue.
Yeah, and I think we're just waiting on 2 of the Function players who apparently have got FPS drops. So, CS:GO, everyone.
It's the least buggy game out there. Seems to happen every week, doesn't it, Viper? Seems to happen every week.
There's always at least 2 delays every week.
I think that's just the thing with CS tournaments in general, though. I mean, MLG was pretty good for it, but most tournaments you see always have a bit of a delay at some point. Hopefully for us we can get it all out of the way in the first map. That is, at this point, dependent on players.
Yep. We've waited so long that the halftime music has actually stopped.
Play with music?
Yeah. There's always music for
I feel
halftime.
worried for you. I've not heard any music, mate.
Wow.
I've got all of my music turned off apart from the 10-second bomb timer music.
That's why.
Yeah. Why would you want music? It's CS.
The sound of gunfire is music. That sounded really bad.
Sounded better in your head?
Yeah. Yeah, it did sound better in my head.
So we are going to see 1 player join.
Yep.
Still waiting on my res, and he's back in the server. This should be over very shortly. Then we
Should be.
It's very dependent, but there's always that chance. Maybe Function just trying to delay the inevitable. Not really wanting to get into it just yet. Talk a bit of tactics. See if they can get some things sorted before their CT side.
Yeah. And now we're getting into the second half very shortly, as both teams have readied up.
Absolutely wonderful.
So now we're into the second half, and we'll see what buy comes out from both teams. As I think it might just be going to be 4 armors on the T side with nades on Vancarino, and 4 armors on the CT with YTF picking up a kit and a smoke.
Overall, just a fairly normal round.
Yep. In pistol rounds, Fnatic normally put a kit on Crims, and that's kind of become the meta for pistol rounds. You get 4 armors and a kit on 1 player. Just see the bomb is on Banana. They're just waiting it out, and
I'm not quite sure what they're trying here, because most times when you see 3 players up over by like that, you're sort of expecting the bomb to be a bit further down towards T-spawn.
yeah.
The bomb
Maybe
is...
Dougie just hasn't realised.
I mean, maybe they're trying to fake it out, as they are going to find 1 player. Connor looking a little bit worried here. The last player on A, but I don't think they know that, and they're going to be chasing him into CT spawn, giving him all the opportunity he needs to take a lot of health off of them. Tech9 already dropped down to 13, and I mean, the round in general looking a bit terrible for Aftershock.
Yep.
You could see they'd already planned the strat of going over towards B. I think they might have been expecting a 3-man setup on A, because they did just go straight for that long rush into the into the second player. They could have quite easily found themselves the site there.
Yep, and now we'll actually see a force buy come out from Aftershock. Tech 9, not on a Tech 9, surprisingly enough.
What I like to see, Viper. On T side, you can afford the luxury of a force buy very easily indeed. Money is not really an issue. They're just going to be seeing if they can find anything at all. They know that a force buy worked for them second round in the first half. Why not now?
Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking as well. But you'll normally see teams go for a force buy. They've got the rounds to play with, and Tech 9 is very powerful.
The thing is, I think you can see Function actually realizing that this is the case, and they are just going to be throwing down a lot of utility to stop them getting anywhere near.
Yeah. If Vancarino actually came out onto balcony, then YTF. It would have been very hard for YTF to actually get the kill, even with the fire rate of the MP9. And Hunger's the first kill onto Zaki, but they don't know who's hit there, and what a shot from Temper.
Fortunately, the CT's managing to find 2 in the meantime to keep things even in a 3 versus 3 retake. Again, Function not at an advantage here, as they are going to be trying to retake B with an even amount of players, and actually with a disadvantage now that Han finds that shot, and from that point on, things are just going to go downhill. YTF, I think, probably deciding at this point he just wants to get out of there alive, and with his MP9. They do it again. They do it again, yeah. Viper. Aftershock managed to take the second round on a force. Once more, interesting to see if Function can keep dishing up. Find themselves that third round. As it stands at the moment, though, Aftershock set up to take, what, maybe 2 here?
Yeah, unless Function actually force buy again, which they aren't going to do. They're just going to save for 14th round, which can be risky, but I think it's probably the right call to make, as it's going to be, looks as though it's going to be just a not very fancy A push.
I don't really think they need it to be fancy. They have such a huge weapon advantage here. Only an MP9 to contend with and no armor on anybody else, so anything they put into them is just going to rip them to shreds. They're going to be such a state, and it does look like Aftershock should be finding round 13 here.
Yeah.
Unless Function can pull off a miracle. We try Myra's first man to meet his end. Tech 9 takes him out instantly, but Connor, ready and waiting with that USP, doesn't have any armor, but does still manage to find himself a UMP.
And actually, Aftershock have actually baited out the rotations.
Oh,
now there's 3 people on 8, and the only person that's actually on B is Thor, who's on 19 HP.
I don't really understand what Function are thinking at this point. I think they're just realising their mistake now, and they are going to be rotating people over, so Aftershock are going to have to act fast if they want this little competition there. Either way, competition shouldn't be too much of a problem, and I think they're aware there's a potential for a player to be on the site. Either way, Tech 9 going to be going for the plant. We'll hear the bullets from Thor, but I'm not sure he knows exactly where he is at this point, as minimap is not going to be a help when you're fighting a silenced weapon.
As they go down and
they spotted people, they've not spotted the man on site yet. They don't know that Thor is where he is. Luckily, Tech 9 looking the right way manages to pick him up. Make sure his teammates don't come to any harm. So that's going to be 13 rounds, and honestly, another eco from Function. This is the problem with losing that second round force. You are in a bad way for a little while after that, because normally you do not leave yourself much to work with.
No.
As a result of that, we're going to see pistols this round, but no armor. And some utility, but all of it gone already. The rush failed. Unless YTF can take someone here, it was not going to have been a particularly good investment, and he just drops. You can see Myra's still seeing if he can try for anything, but Tech9 ready and waiting, and it's just Thor and Exacti on the rotate with those pistols. I mean, more than anything, hoping they can find a frag apiece and just take some money out of Aftershock's hands.
Yeah. Seems like a foregone conclusion now that it's going to be Aftershock's round.
Aftershock are reading this perfectly, though. They realise the rotates will have been called, and instead they're just going to head over towards the B site, avoid casualties, make sure they don't waste too much money, and it's the perfect play.
Yep.
It is the perfect play for that situation.
And they get the bomb down, which means extra money for them. They probably don't need it, but...
Bomb down, 5 men alive, and the only consolation Thor has is a deagle. That's not fun.
No, and actually Dougie's in T-spawn, so we might be able to catch out Thor if he's looking the wrong way. But it's Hunt that catches him out.
Dougie baiting Hunt ready with the AK spray. Again, just... They seem to know exactly what to do to counter-function.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. It's going to be interesting to see if that can hold up into Function's first buy round of the half. First CT round with weapons in their hands. One that at the moment they need to win. They do not want to let this get to match point right now.
No. Because if they let it get to match point, they're going to be on $3,000. Pretty much everyone, and it's going to be very hard to get picked round if they lose.
I'd say near impossible.
Yeah,
at this point,
we've seen what they can do.
We've seen what they can do, but at this point it is looking, to me, a little bit like they might be out of the game. Just purely the fact it's 14-5 at the moment, they would have to win so many rounds in a row. It seems not really feasible because they've got more than 8 in a row if Aftershock take this round. Fortunately, at the moment, Aftershock looking... They're a bit bewildered. They've not found anything. I think they have settled on pushing towards that A site as every player is going to be up there. But that means 3 people to contend with.
Yeah. And you can actually see the smokes raining in. As we're still stuck on court.
Finally find the action as Vancarino takes out Myres, but YTF and Connor ready with the responses. Hunt just going to be spamming through a box, hoping he can find himself the trade, and he does. YTF, the only man thought he had to deal with, instead spots out Exact. He manages to take him down low as well, and the CT's not in good shape right now. Temp are going to take out YTF as well, just make sure it's a 2 versus 3, and Functions don't have any sort of chance.
No.
It's just going to get worse and worse, and Exacti's position, they know exactly where he is, can't move because of the Molotov, and to be honest, I don't think they're even that bothered about taking him out at this point. They just both seem to want to keep him off that site, away from both of them.
Yeah.
And even as he gets his chance, on such low health, there was no way he was taking that fight.
No.
As you were saying, that's going to leave him with $3 grand apiece to work with in this round. We are going to see a FAMAS come out on YTF. Potentially see Myres find himself something as well, and it's going to be a UMP. But pistols on the other 3 against a full AK buy with all the nades you could hope for. I honestly don't see them pulling this game off at the moment.
And actually, YTF's got a bit of a ping problem.
Yeah, he's just moved many miles away very quickly.
Yep. He was on 400 ping.
That's like playing on East Coast NA servers type sport. So, going to be put out of his misery fairly quickly, but that is the FAMAS down. Exactly going down with him, and 3 versus 5 with no advantage in terms of weapons. A minute left on the clock. It's looking like it could be GG. We're going to have to see something spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm holding out hope. I want to see Function pull something off, keep themselves in the game just that little bit longer. I don't think Aftershock are going to let them.
No, they're setting up for like some Molotovs. Call's been made, and now
Look at that. They know how important this round is, and they are going to be thorough about it. At the end, Thor does manage to pick up one while they push, though. But with a 3-man peak, he is not going to live long. Temper taking him out, and now a 4 versus 2 for the site. One man already in construction. Myra's in from behind, but he's... I thought he might have been in with a chance, but he gets taken out immediately as well, and it's all on Connor with a 5-7 and a flashbang.
Yeah, he doesn't have a kit either, so...
Have to act fast if he wants anything. Finds the first with the AK. Looking for more, but it won't be his. 16-5 to Aftershock to end that map. I mean, it couldn't be much more definitive than that.
No. I think it was just that once they got